Hey, good afternoon, Courtney Scott. It's been a long time since I checked in with you on the Knowledge Well media site, but I figured I had a few moments here before I pick up the daughter. So just had a few thoughts. By now, being May the 3rd, I believe it's May the 3rd. I may be wrong. Let me check. You would think I'd know this from being at work all day, but just sitting in the mall parking lot here and blowing off a little time. Yep, it's May 3rd, about 3 o'clock. And just wanted to rehash over some things that I've discussed with you before. By now, if you don't know, the United States is going through a metamorphosis. We voted in Donald Trump to the presidency of the United States. A lot of people are recognizing now, as I said many times before, that our hope is not in a man, because now that Trump is basically doing direct opposite that he said he was going to do once he's in office. Now we're seeing some of the same type of behaviors and some of the same type track record that other politicians have had previous to Donald Trump. So the thing we have to understand is that nothing really changes post the United States elections. We're promised things over and over again. Not much changes. But we knew that. Deep down somewhere inside, even the people that I debated with as far as whether we have new hope in Donald Trump or not, even they still had the belief that, this is all a rather sick and twisted game, and that the two sides are basically playing against each other, with us as the collateral in between. I've heard the analogy from people I've listened to and researched that it's basically like this: you have two sides, two opposing sides, or seemingly two opposing sides. You have side A and side C, and the two will argue with each other, both having an agenda with full knowledge that they both hope to come to, or have to come to, a common ground, being that they're all politicians. So there's side A and side C, and what happens is when they argue and cause confusion and things, it causes the American or United States citizen to beg for some type of a solution, because it's conflict. And so basically what ends up happening is the people cry out for some type of a settlement, and because there's an extreme, whether Democrat or Republican, and then there's the other extreme, the opposing force, and then you have people that are claiming one party or the other, following after one or the other, and they're just crying out for some type of resolution. So basically, their goal, both sides, their goal is to come to a common solution. If you can picture an upside down triangle, upside down triangle, the Democrat over here, Republican over here, and their ultimate goal is to come to solution C. I'm sorry, option B. So you have side A and C, an upside down triangle, out of A and C, they come out with B. And that option B is what is a mixture of the extreme, one extreme over the other, and then we're left as the American people or United States citizens to deal with what comes out of the two arguing or opposing forces. And so they play this over and over again. I know that was a rather lengthy and probably convoluted explanation, but hey, I'm not perfect. I'm never claiming to have full knowledge of everything that's going on, but I do research. I do listen and gather things from many different sources throughout the day and over the months and years. So that is essentially the explanation that I have come to based on the preponderance of the evidence. And that's what we get caught up in. And they play this on us time and time again. So this is, again, what is going on here now with Donald Trump. We see that there was Hillary Clinton, which was one extreme, and then it came down to Trump being the other extreme. So when you're looking for an explanation as to how we got to where we are, that's basically and essentially what is going on behind the scenes. Now that we see what's going on, now we're faced. I mean, we're locked in for at least for 4 years. So we're locked in. There's nothing we can do about that. There's not going to be any impeachment process or nothing like that. But what we need to take from this is that basically we're probably in for a rough road. And I know there's lots of questions people are questioning. I get inundated with questions and challenges throughout the day at work. Yes, I do discuss politics at work. I mean, I don't know where it ever came from that, the American citizen should not discuss politics and all that kind of stuff in any venue. This is our livelihood. This is the tax system. And this is the governmental regulation on our lives and things like that. We should have this is supposed to be a free country. We should be able to discuss politics anywhere we darn well please. There should never be any stipulation or regulation against our freedom of speech. I'm sorry. So, but what really, I don't want to make this too long. I think I'm at about 7 minutes. But what I really wanted to kind of hash or rehash was I was talking to somebody actually today, and I was explaining a lot of people don't even understand the American financial system or economical system and where this corruption is. And what's the whole incentive behind corruption in government and what we're forced to deal with on a regular basis as taxpayers in this so-called great country. And I had the opportunity to discuss that with someone today and to explain how the fractional reserve system is based on debt and how legally the banks are only required to hold 10% of every deposit that you put into your bank. And so you deposit $100, the bank is only required to hold 10 of that $100 in that bank account, and then they can loan out the other 90. And so this goes on and on. I don't want to, keep going over it and over and over it, but that is your fractional reserve system. So the economy actually doesn't have, the banks don't actually have the type of money that you actually think they have. That's the fractional reserve system. So our system is based on debt, and it's just sad. It's corrupt, And then this financial system, this economical system, is funded on your back. If you work a 9-to-5 job, your taxes and all that kind of stuff, they're basically writing checks that they can't cash, and then they put you to work, or you attain a job to try to pay off debts and things because you acquire credit, because there's not enough cash to go around, because they're making money out of computer digits, And so I guess I was reawakened to the fact that the information that I have attained to this point, not everybody is privy to. Just the very basics of the financial sector and how it's really based on fraud, you know, and how they're getting away with this. And well, obviously they're going to get away with it if the people that of the great country, so-called great country, are not privy to this information. So I guess I would say, you know, in wrapping this short little snippet up, that pay attention, try to gain as much knowledge as you can. Don't be afraid of new knowledge. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to subscribe or ascribe to the information and become a necessary 100% believer in it. But don't be afraid to take in the knowledge, and as it's been said to me most of my life, eat the fish but throw the bones away. So I guess the synopsis of this little snippet here is that, you know, don't be afraid of information. You know, take the information and throw away the bad stuff and keep the good stuff. But this is the first video I've done in probably several months, and I hope to get back on the ball as far as I've had, you know, people asking me when am I going to get back to recording. I've been going through a move. You know, life. You know how life just, you get preoccupied with life and things like that. But I do. This is a love of mine and a passion. So I will be getting back to it. Just wanted to throw this out there. And as always, my usual sign off is don't forget to find God in your day. And thank you for tuning in to Knowledge Well Media. And I promise I'll be back on the ball really real soon here. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you. Courtney signing off.